Welcome, everybody, to another episode in this series for Mastermind leaders. Today, we have a very special guest for you, which is going to share with you how to get paid to speak on big stages as a mastermind leader. So going into the corporations, the big companies, how to be taken seriously to share your message and get paid as well. Because if it's not packaged correctly, they're not going to take you seriously, me seriously, any of us seriously. And today's guest, Carlos Siqueria, has quite the resume. So Tony Robbins himself says that if anybody can give him a run for his money, it's Carlos. And Carlos's speaking method has been taught to over 10,000 students. And the method has over 1 billion in client revenues across students, coaches, Fortune 100 companies. So what we're going to get into today is how you can, after this interview, start making steps to get paid to speak. And so with that being said, welcome, Carlos. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, my friend. Great to be here, Sebastian, with you and to add value to your tribe. Just very grateful, man. I often talk about we got to live as if we have one last day, not one more.
I love it. So where I love to start with people is a little introduction, your story and how did you get into your method of speaking and getting paid to speak on stages? And personally, I'm really excited because just in the parts that I've heard, I was like, oh my God, like there's so many, it's almost like a movie and so many play-by-play. So with that being said, could you share a bit of how you got started and introduced to your method?
And it's a great question, my brother. It's a great question. Everything got started from pain. We tend to do more like we always do something when we are hurting, when the pain is so big. That's when we normally, as humans, we do stuff. We do something about it. And I often talk about on stages around the world, and I speak multiple languages because I want to help so many people in my lifetime. So I want to make sure that the things that happen to me as a kid doesn't happen to no kids around the world. I want to make sure that the things that happen to my mom and my grandma, it doesn't have to happen to other women around them. And all the pain that I went through and the deaths and the people that were murdered in my family and the people that I've seen being murdered. I want to make sure that doesn't happen to nobody else around the world, my friend. And, I talk about this quite a bit. And that's where a lot of the energy, a lot of the education, I often talk about educate to dominate your industry, your niche, become the go-to expert. But before all that happened, Sebastian, if we go back 40 plus years ago, my mother saw this priest, and this priest fell in love with her, and he decided to no longer become a priest. And then after dating a few months, they had me, and within 3 months of me being born, he died a horrible car accident, a car explosion, head-on collision. So now that beautiful Romeo and Juliet story, it's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. It all went to hell. It went from love, which I often talk about. We only know love because we once experienced hate. And it went from that to despair, to lack, to poverty, to not having enough food in the table. I remember going on rice for months at a time. And instead of being angry or upset, my mom and my grandma always tell me, at least you have the rice. Imagine somebody that doesn't have the rice. Because I will see the TV. Anybody here remembers the old TVs with the antennas? You put a little metal thing on the TV. All my friends who are 40 plus. And I will see people eating, right? The beans, the meat, the rich people in the restaurants. I see those meals through the glass. And I always like, wow, I wish I could have that. And I couldn't have that. Think about some of the things that you guys watching us that you want to have that you wish you couldn't have. And if we focus on that, we actually attract more. That's how crazy the brain is. And we focus on lack. We focus on not being enough, the imposter syndrome. Oh, I cannot handle success. I often talk about if you think you're too big for the opportunity, or if the opportunity is too big for you, what are you thinking? You're making yourself small. You're already telling yourself, okay, I'm making myself too little for the opportunity itself. And that happens to all of us. Even when you accomplish things, we compare, we look at our neighbors, we look at the other speaker, the other guy that runs the mastermind, the other coach, the other CEO. And I'm just so grateful to my mom and my grandma. They taught me how to reframe things from a very early age, Sebastian. My stepfather, if you guys don't think that my father dying was enough, my stepfather was murder. I often hear behind closed doors, just the pounding, the abuse that went on to my mom. And he would walk out of that door, storm it, leave it for 3 days at a time. And my mom would walk out of there, wipe her tears out of her eyes, like if everything was okay. And that was just hurting me so much inside, Sebastian. My whole life, the mindset, the emotional home that I live in inside, it was abuse, it was crying, it was lack, it was poverty. That's all I focus on. And eventually, if you focus on that and that's where you live most of your time, who here can relate? And you guys listen to us, where are you living right now in your emotional home, that emotional state? Because 90% of humans, we tend to go and focus on the stuff that we don't have. But my partner cheated on me, my business partner, client didn't pay, whatever, right? You got to pay the bills, you got to pay the mortgage. What do you think is happening? If you look at patterns, we attract more of that. We need to break it away. We need to break from those chains. The only way to stop the demons from following us and holding us in lack is to stop looking the demons in the eyes and just say enough is enough. It's to learn. It's to put yourself around environments, in your world, in my world, being around others that are doing something. They actually love people. They actually want to help people. They actually want to take it to another level. It's not out there selling fluff or delivering fluff value on social media or saying things that they haven't done. No, if you are so good, show me, don't tell me. Because with that hate and that anger, it was so much in there, Sebastian, that I got to the point when I was 6 years old, I wrote that letter, brother. That famous letter that many people there who wrote are no longer here to tell the story because they killed themselves. And I was going to stab myself. I remember a dark night on a kitchen. It was raining. And I had a knife in my hand. And I was literally going to stab myself and kill myself right there at that kitchen because everything was dark. All the things that I told myself. But right before I do it, Sebastian, God is good all the time. You know what he said? I call it whispers from God. He said, hey, kid, your future doesn't have to equal your past unless you carry on the stories with you. Ooh, say it again, Brother Carlos. Your future doesn't have to equal your past unless you carry on the stories with you. Make this moment, my friend, that you draw a line in the sand and you say, enough is enough. Let's end the lack. Let's end the poverty. Let's end the abuse. Let's end the lack of money, the lack of clients, the lack of stages, the lack of whatever you want to attract. If you're going through a dark tunnel, I want you to stop before you leave that dark tunnel. I want you to stop and I want you to close your eyes and I want you to observe because now you're there, you can see there is light in darkness. I want your body, when you close your eyes, your body, your soul, and your spirit will become the change that you want to see around others. And when you do that in a dark space, because every single one of us here, we have survived 100% of what we went through. We survived it. Think about it. 100% of our dark days. And if we are still here, if you're still listening to this podcast, to this live, it's because you know your message, you know your story, you know that you are here for more. But to do more, you got to give more because you deserve more. I want to give you more. Sebastian want to give you more. But we only have 60 minutes. So I want you guys to be focused here with us today. Take massive notes because writing is the doing part of thinking. If this was going to be the last time that I spoke, I'm going to give it all we got. And from now on, whenever you are out there, from creating content to delivering your message so that you can speak to the pain points and address the problems that your ideal audience, your ideal avatar is going through, I want you guys to bring this level of love, of connection, of conviction. They got to feel. You need to be able to shake them away from the stuff that's been taught to us by society, by old marketing tactics that no longer work. You must see the way to raise you as a speaker to go from a speaker to a sought after expert speaker. You must to understand how to create a lure so you can become more marketable. In order to do that, you have to be so good at telling your stories and really, really think about before you're putting content out and delivering in a way that really connects with the subconscious mind of your ideal clients. Think about this. Let's just go tactical here for a minute. Because I went through so much pain and I told myself enough is enough, I used that pain, the hate, the disgrace, the lack, and I transformed into an energy. I call it the force of God, the force of good. And I wish everybody around the world to have that. Because when we have that, now you are in a peaceful place. Now you are at your center. From that place, you can now be very, very tactical on creating your content, on revamping, looking at some of the content that you've done in the past, repurposing it. So now the content is speaking to your niche, is defined, you are in a niche. That's the niche that you serve. You know who is your avatar. You're talking to that person. You're talking to that industry. So now when event organizers, when CEOs, when decision makers, they're watching you, because they're watching us. They're watching all of us. They're like, wow, I would love to have this person speak at my company, at my industry stage, at my mastermind, at my local nonprofit. You guys know how many events, happenings, just on USA alone? Millions. If you look at online and offline, there are millions of stages. Nonprofits, many companies out there, they need to host events on a weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly basis. How many nonprofits do we have? Think about industry stages. What do you guys think? Public companies, they got to keep their board of directors happy. That stock must go up. If the stock doesn't go up, the CEO gets written off. So what do you think is the pain? Think about it. When is the last time that you call your clients? I want you guys to think about this. Let's go tactical here right now. Think about the last person that handled you guys money. I want you guys to write this thing down. This is a powerful question. And imagine if you called that person and you asked them, where in the heart of hearts did you decided emotionally and financially to hire me as your coach, as your speaker, as your mastermind leader, as whatever is your superpower that you deliver? And now you tell them, I want you to be so honest with me about answering this. Even take your time to answer, because I wanted to pinpoint it. I want you guys to think about me as your Navy SEAL commander. And as we are a Navy SEAL team and nobody's left behind, there will be zero casualties, period. I used to be a Marine. So there's plenty of food to eat on the table, right? Because now when we ask our clients, people that already gave us money, people that already hired me to speak on this stage, even if you spoke it for free, they had to choose you, right? I want to know, pinpoint it to me. Was I holding something on my hand? Was I, doing something silly? I want to know which story did I told? What topic was I talk about? What teaching, what framework did I teach? Was I teaching you about the IIRS? So now some of you guys was like, oh, what he was holding on his hand, right? Great plug. What is this? See, this is a teaching moment. What did I do? I did a pattern interrupt and let you guys wanting more, because now you guys want to know what I was holding. Or hold on, tell me about this framework again. What does it mean? IIRS. And what about the question? How can we go more tech? What do we do here? You always want to leave your ideal avatar and your clients wanting more. See, I want you guys to think about yourself as you are your own HBO channel, your favorite series, Sopranos or Stars, Power, or whatever. Now what happens? Just think about in your own nervous system, within your emotions. What happened when you're watching your favorite show? Episode 1 is over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You cannot leave, right? You're like, you're gonna watch it. Imagine if you learn the strategies that I teach, and now you became that person for your industry, your niche, where now they want more from you. Because you bring it, you being real, you being raw, you being yourself. GPT cannot do that. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no hacks or there's no shortcuts to success. We gotta take the steps, guys. It starts here. It starts with, okay, we gotta educate to dominate. You wanna be the guy that gives the most value in your industry, where now you become the go-to person. That CEO that's thinking about being written up because his stocks is not going up, when he's thinking about his next keyword or topic for his conference, are you talking about those things to your audience in your space? Because if you are, and if you're keywording, and if you're being tactical about it, putting that out there, what do you think is going to happen? When the things that's keeping him up at night, he's going to be like, I need Sebastian. I need Carlos. I need you guys listening to me. Now you're going to become one of the top experts that comes to their mind when it comes to solve that problem that you guys can solve, right? Is your market dominating position. See, what are we doing here? We're being tactical. If I want to go even more tactical, let's say I want to sell a workshop to a corporation, what am I going to do? Every public company, they do quarterly calls. And those quarterly calls, CEOs got to go on the quarterly call, talk about what is happening, good and bad. When he talks about the bad, when do we do shit? When shit's hitting the fan. When he talks about the bad, I'm taking notes, big notes, because now I know the things that they needed to fix. Now I know some of the topics that might be a topic for his next convention, annual party. And guess what? They pay big money for those annual parties. Keynotes, big money. You got to earn your way to get there. That's the process. It's not like, oh, Carlos, I can refer you somebody. No, no, no. Even me, I have to fill it up. An abstract. An abstract is, for you guys that don't know what it is a speaking form. Even that is a method on how you fill it up. It's not like you can go to GPT and fill it up. No, 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 no. It's just, if you do that, you see, think about it. If you do what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the results what everybody else is getting, right? Well, write this thing down. You must do what others don't do, can't do, and will not think of doing. See, before you guys put content out from now on, really think about it. Take some time to really strategize, because I want you guys to making sure that, one, you went to the clients that gave you money already, or if you're brand new, people that maybe hire you for free, and you know what is keeping you up at night. When did I have you at hello? When did you decide emotionally and financially to hire me as your coach, as your consultant, as your speaker, as whatever? When did you decide to buy my book, Work Like an Immigrant? Right? What about that? Just great play, right? I'm teaching you guys as I'm explaining, but this great pattern interrupt. Again, I grab something, I bring things to the stage, right? You want to bring, see, I'm very tactical when I do things, Sebastian. One time I spoke at the Oscars, and what I did, nobody knew me. I was like, how can I do something so crazy that hasn't been done before? So what I did, I brought the story to the stage. I brought the bicycle. I got a little bike that I bought in a Walmart for a little girl, pink bicycle, like I think it was Barbie or some shit like that. And I put a sombrero, and I bought a bunch of bread, because I used to sell bread as a kid. And I put the bread on the bike, and I roll it, not from the back on the stage, from the front of the building. And now they're like, what the heck? Who is this guy? And now, my friend, anybody here that suffers from the imposter syndrome, I'm not enough, I don't think I can do it. Let me tell you, the unknown person in the room has the greatest leverage. They don't know your story. They don't know how much darkness you've been going through right now. And the more that you are yourself, and you're speaking from the heart, you're not here and you're mad, you're not memorizing speeches, and you're not using a clicker to tell your story, drop. If I see you on the stage with a clicker, we're going to have a talk. Drop the freaking clicker. But you know what I mean, Sebastian? It's like, it's challenging yourself. How can I elevate it, raise the standards in my niche, and become the one that gives the most value, and give value that's going to get our ideal avatars to think. We need to learn how to unlearn all the crap that was taught us about marketing, about selling coaching programs and getting paid to speak and selling masterminds. We really got to go tactical, because it's a very competitive state. You know, don't you guys agree? Like, the arena of coaching, speaking, mastermind, it's very competitive. You have to understand how to create that allure, how to educate to dominate. You got to go way more tactical on putting the content that speaks to that pain. No pain, no gain, right? I call it no pain, no moolah, right? Because what do you think is going to happen there when you start being that tactical? Now you compress decades into years and years into months, right? I know it's a long answer to that question, but, you know, like I told you, when I get in the flow, I really like to break things down. But, you know what I mean? I really hope that you guys are getting value from this. And I'm glad that it's being recorded, you know, because write it down, guys, because writing is the doing part of thinking. And review your notes before you go to bed. Really, I want to, and tag us, tag Sebastian, tag myself when you guys do a video, or when you guys speak on a stage, or when you guys put out some content on your stories, tag us. And I want you guys to challenge yourself. All right, Sebastian and Carlos will be here. What would they say? Just by you doing that pause before creating the content, you're going to be more thoughtful in the process of putting that content out there, because that's going to help you put yourself in front of more people. When they look you up, once you learn how to fill it up and abstract and some of those hacks and the things that we are talking about here, now, when you put it out there and they look at you and they look at your website, they look at the titles that you have in your social medias, they look at your banners, they can see your market dominating position. They see the pains that you solve. They see samples of you speaking, right? They want to see that. A lot of people, they hide behind GPT when you post. Yeah, anybody can get a bunch of views and likes on a post. That can be manipulated. They want to see this in real time. When somebody will ask you a question, how do you answer that question? That's wisdom. You know what I mean? And it takes practice. But there is a formula to get paid to speak on the stage. And this is the base. We got to make sure the foundation is there and it's so strong from everything that we talk about here so far. You know, does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm taking notes after notes right here. And one of the things that I want to highlight here is that I'm taking away is the opportunity. So you shared that how many nonprofits locally, associations, public companies, larger companies, just around that person-to-person connection, you know, goes a long way. And so that's what I took away is like, hey, there's opportunity around. And like you said, the quarterly calls as well for those bigger companies, like they're sharing the problems, solve problems. I have a personal belief that people love paying for their problems to be solved. So like I heard that, I was like, oh, that makes total sense.
You think about like how often do we do it? It's just like the people, they don't do it. How often do we call back our clients and ask them, when did I had you at hello? Because now, and as you do that call, here's one more pro hack. Who else do you know that can help them solve their problem? Now, can you do me a favor and do a three-way text introduction? So now you're calling them as a CEO of the company. You're not hiring somebody overseas to do it. Now it's you. And you asking them that question. You understand where you have people at hello, where they are buying from you, where they are paying you for the coaching, where they are paying you for the mastermind, where they are hiring you in their speaking. Because that data is so powerful, guys. When they tell you the answer to these questions, you write that. Because now all you need to do, you can start practicing within your own followers. Have you ever? What do you think is going to happen when you say the words, have you ever, or imagine? What do you think is going to happen? Our mind is automatic. It's going to stop. It cannot go anywhere else. It cannot go to the next post. They're gonna wait. And now imagine if you plugged after the have you ever, or they imagine the pain that your ideal client just described it to you, that you had them, hello. What do you think is going to happen? I know what's going to happen. You're going to be like my clients. You're going to shrink the sales cycle process. You're going to compress decades into years, years into months, months into weeks, weeks into days, because you're speaking directly to the pain in their subconscious, not here, not in the conscious, which is the shield. Now you're here. The non-conscious can only say 3 powerful words, and that is yes. Yes to Sebastian. Yes to Carlos. Yes to you. Yes to your brand. Yes to more stages. And now, when you become selected to speak on that stage, because now I'm teaching you guys some of the hacks, some of the things to focus on, now you are more tactical. The competition, they're not thinking like us. They are, maybe paying for some program and they're a few $1,000. They're watching a video. It's not like you're watching a video. It's cookie cutter, right? It's me working with you. When I work with people, it's one-on-one. I want to understand what pain do you solve? What's your market dominating position? Who do you serve? Which industry? Great. Now we can go deep. What are your speaking topics? Now, more important, what are the 3 takeaways from them listening to us speaking? It's funny because they say I'm taking notes when I'm speaking at Mastermind and events, the podcast on the stages. The owners, the organizers, taking hella notes as we're talking. It's real. It's raw. It's creating better, faster, and newer conversations in the marketplace. You bring in a different perspective, right? When you are educating, you want to bring new perspectives. You want to get your ideal clients to think, and most important, you want them to take action from your content, right? And that's how you're able to influence more people, getting more stages, more organizers. Now, when you do fill it up an abstract, because it's a process, like we all got to go through that. Now you know what to say, how to say it. Now you got your titles of your topics. And now think about it. What are the 3 takeaways that my audience, let's say if I connect you guys to speak with an audience, I don't know, let's say 10,000 people. You go and you fill it up, the abstract. Visualize yourself. You're putting all your information there, your 1 page, even that 1 page, they got to be solid. You got to put in 1 page. What is that thing about you? And you got to, that even that has to be tactical, right? Because they're going to look at that. If your 1 page sucks, if your CISO sucks, they're going to go next. Yeah, but it goes right back to what I'm talking about here. If you're just a little bit more tactical and you spend a little bit more time on the creation process of that 1 page, just the same way how we're talking about over here for your putting content out, same as that process. Because now that's going to look clean. Now that's going to be in alignment with your social media handles, with your banners, with your market dominating position. When they look at it, wow, this guy have his shit together. This girl has her shit together, right? Because they look at that stuff, and when you understand how to make it, it has to be a flow in putting all this. That's what I tell people. It's not like, hey, here is a stage. No. We all gotta fill it up, the abstract, and then they're looking at thousands of people, and that's why it's important. What do you think is gonna happen? Because we're being tactical about it. Do you think it's gonna take you longer to get paid to speak on stage, or faster? Because now you know the hacks from professional speakers who has thousands and thousands and thousands of stages. And I have people in my board, in my company, that we sit on boards of company where people send abstracts that we have to review to select them to speak. So what do you think happens when you watch that pattern over and over and over? You see, you start understanding patterns. All the sales folks that are listening to us right now, did you guys know that I have clients that sell things on TV, on QVC and HSN? Did you know that if you're looking to the left, and if you change your frame and you look to the right, that actually affects the sales process? How do I know? From experience. From watching the insights in real time on a screen as the person is selling live on TV. When you do that over and over and over, and you see pattern, like, hold up, don't look left. I saw the sales go down. Whatever, right? Right, left side of the brain, how people perceive, what is the product, what is the product, what is the word patterns that you are using. Think about, is the word patterns that you are using is a staying in the shield right here, the conscious brain, which can only say yes, no, maybe. You don't want that. When you position yourself as to get paid to speak or to sell your coaching program or mastermind, especially if it's an extremely high ticket, you don't want to be here in the shield, in the yes, no, maybe. You want to get to the subconscious, the non-conscious side of the brain, which is something that I teach and I go in depth on session 5 when I'm mentoring people. And what that does is the non-conscious side can only say 3 powerful words, which is yes. So even that you have to think about. The word patterns that you are using in your stories, in your message, in your one page, in your sizzle, if that talks to your market dominating position, to the pain that you solve, that person, that CEO, that event organizer is keeping them up at night to hire the right people for their stages, what do you think is going to happen, my friends? Compressing sales cycle. Decades to years, years to months, months to weeks, weeks to days. That's why you hear stories of people doing more in a month than people do in a year, right? I don't want to use any money or numbers here. Nothing is a disclaim or financial, but it's just being tactical. You're being a little bit more tactical. You only need to be 20 to 30%, a little bit more advanced than your competitors. If you do that and you apply tactics to everything that you do, you're going to solve it. You're not just going to put a content just to put a content. You're not going to fill it up and abstract and have GPT happening. No. You got to understand the pain, and it takes work. That's why I tell people, Sebastian, it's a process, right? Is understand. You want to serve Fortune 100 companies? Okay. Are you listening to their quarterly calls? Do you know the pains and things that they want to solve? Do you know the topics of their company this year? Fortune 500 companies, network marketing companies, they all have topics that they wanted to be the team for the next event. Moving forward, elevating, inspiring, whatever is that. Think about it. If that topic is in alignment to what you talk about, now you can bring in and talk about it and tie in that topic to whatever they wanted to do. Now you can talk about leadership, inclusion, diversity, well-being in the workplace. Say if you are a health coach, or a yoga coach, a breath work, meditation, you can tie that up to well-being in the workplace for Fortune 500 companies because they need people to talk about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You can tie it to the topics that they need us to talk about. What are we doing again? We're being tactical. Okay, is your niche is health coach, yoga, sales coach, mindset coach, whatever is your keyword. Now we can be tactical about that. Once we define what you solve, who you solve it to, now we can look at industry stages. Okay, let's position yourself as the go-to person to address this pain. What do you think is going to happen? Shrink sales cycle again, right? It's like, that's the stuff, right? But nobody teaches these things, Sebastian, because, you got to be in the game for a long time. You have to be hired to speak on stages for so many decades, like some of my people and I, because then that's when you understand how to get the gigs. And that's why I'm bringing tactics here so that you guys, it's no fluff. It's like being in the game. If you guys go on my LinkedIn and you look me up, you see it all there. Look at my testimonials. Look at my endorsements, right? It's like, and you got to be able to walk the talk. And even if you are, because I'm brand new, how do I do it? Just like everybody else. You put out the content, you listen to the calls, you learn how to master great stuff out there. You elevating the standards in your niche. You start, connecting, building relationships. Think about what Sebastian, when he was reframing what I talked about over here earlier, things that we discussed. Home court advantage. How many of you are connecting with the local nonprofits, the local chambers, the local communities, the local businesses? I'm in Silicon Valley. I'm very involved, right? Think about you. A lot of people, Sebastian, they spend so much time creating content, they create content, and then they're using ads. The ads doesn't work, right? That's what they say, but you forget about, what about home court advantage in your neighborhood? Couple of miles. Did you know that in Silicon Valley, CEOs of companies, they love walking around and disconnecting and debriefing from the crap? Imagine if you get to know these people, you reach out to them, you hear their talk. on addressing the quarterly, and you're like, wow, man, I love, and you reach out to them and you send them a nice message. Yeah, man, I heard you talking, and that's awesome. I'm also local in the community. If you ever go for a power walk, I'd love to just to pick on your brain. I'm new. I want to, grow. I would love to hear from somebody like you. You just never know if you don't do it, right? You know what I mean? It's like, you got to put yourself out there, man. When I was starting, I would go to places, Sebastian, and I will bug them. Hey, can I speak for your company? Can I speak? I'll come in for free. And I would ask 20, 30 times. You know what I mean? What are you going to say? No? Okay, next. They say no, you say next. But you see, you got to put yourself in the environment. And now you, like I say, the first round, you might don't get paid to speak. But guess what? Because you were selected now, they're going to have a rating 1 to 5. If you get a high rating, now the second round, now you get paid. And now, here's the key. You're not allowed to pitch your coaching programs or masterminds from the stage, not on industry stages. This is a big one, guys, because if you do, you're going to be blacklisted. However, there are ways to talk and convey your message once you master some of the things that I talk about, bypassing the conscious into the subconscious. There are things that you can do subliminally and getting the message across the point of the pain that you solve, where they will come to you after you are done speaking. So this way, you're not pitching it, you're getting paid. Even if it's just $3,000, you have to work your way up. It's not like, oh, Carlos, I want to get paid like Tony Robbins, like Gary Vee, like, no, like Bill Clinton, no. we all got to work our way up. So, but let's say if you get paid $3,000 to speak at that one stage, and let's say if your group coaching program is 2 or 3,000 or 5,000, let's just call it 3,000. So now you got paid to speak $3,000. And now you have 3 people, let's say it's 100 or 200 people in the room. Let's say an industry stage, breakout sessions, CEOs, founders of companies. They saw you speak and you connected from the heart. You're not in your head, because if you're in your head, you're dead. Now you deliver so much value from the stage. He connected on a deeper level. You're not reading the freaking script, or you don't have a little note thing in your hand. It's like you prepare. You know what you're talking. You know your shit. You're convicted about it. Now what do you think is going to happen? They're going to come to you. You flip the convoluted sales funnel process. That's how you go from multiple 6 to multiple 7s and 8 figures. When you flip the sales, I call the convoluted sales funnel process. You flip it. Because from the stage, you're building authority, you're connecting, you're sharing, and now they coming to you. You don't have to call to them. You don't have to spam them on LinkedIn or social media or DMs on Instagram. None of that crap. Now they coming to you. That's why this is such a powerful thing, that if most people will focus on that, Sebastian, at the beginning of their coaching, speaking, whatever career they are, that service the crowds, by mastering speaking from the stage. Just think about it, guys. If you do 1 stage a month and you get $3,000 to speak, and you sell 3 or 5, 101 at 3,000, that's like 10 grand, 15,000 out of 1 stage. That's 6 figures a year. You can live anywhere in the US 6 figures nicely and eat good, even with inflation being so high. But you know what I mean? But what if your thing is 5 or 10,000? And even if you just do 1 stage a month or 1 stage every other month, you're still doing 1, 2, 3, 400 grand. Again, it's about being tactical, and it's about being different than everybody else that's out there. But yeah, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And the notes keep growing here. And so a couple of things that I'd love to highlight, I feel is just so powerful, just what you shared, which is the solution, I feel like, to the question that people have, which is, what do I have my speech about? I could talk about this. I could talk about this, the teacher's dilemma, the expert's curse. They could talk about everything. And I love what you said when asking our clients, when did you emotionally and financially decide to buy with me? Have you ever, what was their problem? What was their vision? Where were they at? And hearing that, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be an incredible speech, because if you speak to that, what's going to happen? You're probably going to get more amazing clients like the ones that you have. And so, yeah, I love that too. And also, the quote of being in the heart when you're speaking, because it's like that problem, that emotional decision. And like you said, if we're in our head, we're dead. And so, yeah, all of this coming together is, very powerful, and always shrinking the sales cycle. I love that. So personally, simplicity, effectiveness, results. And that's really what I hear with you is like, okay, there's some gamesmanship to it as well. Like in sports, there's competing and we can still be friends, but we're going to compete. It's like, okay, how can we compete to deliver the most value? And I love that quote that you shared too, as well, which was, do what others can't do when you're bringing the value, do what others won't do when you're bringing the value, and do what others are not even thinking about when you're bringing the value. So yeah, I love of that. And I think as what you shared as well is packaging it into, okay, now we're getting clear on the who, what stages to speak on. We're getting more clear on, the type of speech. And then now we're getting clear on packaging that up for the people and these ways of just breaking through the barrier and asking and building up that muscle. Is there any last piece that you'd like to share on that? And one last thing I'll say too is, as we get close to the hour, how I typically wrap these up is we do an overview of all these golden nuggets that you're just firing off, and then close out with a final word from you.
It's like I was saying earlier, man. It's so much. I wish I had more time here with you guys, because again, it's like I'm very tactical. I guess that's maybe the military in me too, and that kid that never left me. I mean, I'm always hungry. I'm very like, I don't like flashing stuff. I think that's a turn on. I often talk about, a booty, airplane, cars, you know what I mean? If you like that, that's your thing. But me personally, yes, they may capture attention, put in a booty, a car, an airplane. But guess what? Your personality captures the heart. Never forget that. Beauty captures attention, but your personality captures the heart. Everybody else right now, they focus on AI. Yeah, I love processes and systems. I teach that for a long time. Systems to scale, how to sell high-ticket programs, and how to sell masterminds. And, what I love to do is teaching people how to speak, right? To give it to them what I wish I was taught to me a long time ago. Do to others what you wish I was done to you when you were struggling. And because the pain that I went growing my own career as a speaker, as a coach, I'm like, man, if I would know this at the beginning, I would be so much more ahead. Because again, I wish I would be tactical. Don't try to be something for every person around the world. Not when you're starting. Eventually, yes, you can get there and be there for the whole world. Yes, I want to end hunger. Not my paintings, guys. I was hungry. I saw people dying for that. I had my friends that were murdered. That is one thing that I want to solve in my lifetime. Hunger, sex trafficking, organ trafficking. But but before I even go there, you got to take care of yourself first. You got to take care of your family. You got to take care of your employees. You got to take care of your team. You got to take care of your people. You got to take care of your client. Because if you bring too much on your plate, how are you going to be able to serve others? So you have to also know how to say no. Like I often tell people, you don't need more information. You need people like Sebastian, like myself, that can help you implement. Hold, let's roll up the sleeves. Now let's work. Let's work. Let's be tactical about this shit. Let's figure it out. Okay, let's make the competition irrelevant. Because, I talk about the 3 ins all the time in masterminds around the world and stages. And I want you guys listening to me here to record, go back to this recording. Don't let this be a shelf development. Go back, take massive notes, look at your brain, look at your website. If you have a 1-page, look at your 1-page, audit that. Look at your sizzle reel. Think about it. Think about if you ever fill out abstracts. Think about how you fill in them. Is there any tactic involved? Think about who are you learning from, somebody that have thousands of stages. You have to be very careful who you put your money on. Because I want every single one of you here that are listening to us to become incomparable, indispensable, and indestructible. And that can happen, my friends, to all of us. Just take it from a kid that was selling bread, making 50 cents a day for 10 freaking years. Most people give up, right? Most people, they run an ad. How many times did you split test it? Oh, 2. What do you expect? You're going to split test the damn thing 50 times. The image, the title, the color, the headlines. You improve your headlines just by 10%. You are 10 times more likely to see more engagement, more comments. Even if you're broke right now, you don't have money for the ads, you don't need it. You can be tactical about it. Put yourself out there. Go talk to the local businesses in your area. Ask them, what is it keeping you up at night? They're going to tell you. If you can solve that, look, let me help you. Oh, I cannot afford you. No problem. How much can you afford? What if I over deliver? Can I get a piece of the business? Can I get a piece of the revenue? Think about it. If you can help solve the pain, they're going to let you solve the pain. If you're starting now, if you're broke, I mean, might as well go help that business. You improve that business by 10, 20, 30%. Now you get a piece of the revenue. Now you can record a testimonial, written, video, endorsement. Now that person can brag about you, can do a little video. Hey, Joe, how were you before me? Oh, man, Carlos, before you, everything sucks. I was stressed all the time, broke. My wife was on me. Could haven't have on vacation for so many years. And now, brother, holy Lord, they are coming on the door that I got to press the stop button. Too many clients. I have a waiting list. Whatever, right? They're going to tell you. But you see, people make shit complicated, brother. You know what I mean? It's just get out there. If you are broke, if you don't have the money, go talk to your local business. Go to your local chambers. Listening to any corporations around you. When that CEO up on that quarterly call and talk about their problems, their pains, listen. Listen and find a way to get their attention. I don't care what you figure. Put yourself in the environment. If you got the money, invest in somebody. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be Sebastian. Invest in mentorship of somebody that can help you go from frustration to freedom faster. But make sure before you invest in others, do your homework. Look them up, because too many people talk. Make sure that they are showing it. I tell people, don't tell me about your dreams. Show me. Document the process. Document the testimonies. Take screenshots when they message you and they email you that I made so much money, blah, 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 blah. You put it out there. Because guess what? Products or service descriptions doesn't sell. What your product do for them. It's what the magic happens. Ooh, say that one more time, Carlos, because I think too many people here are talking about their products or their service descriptions or their bullet points. Oh, my thing does this, and that. Don't do that. Don't do that from the stage, from social media. Products or service descriptions do not sell. It's what your shit you do for them. That's when the magic happens. So that's one of the biggest things that I would focus early on is I would invest in somebody that actually done it, because it would shrink years and decades of frustration, of sadness and anxiety and imposter syndrome and all this shit that we all go through. And even if I couldn't afford that person, I would ask them, what can I do for you so that I can get into your mentorship? Can I come to your next event? Can I check the names? Can I help move the chairs around? Can I, let's say if you are a chef, can I come to your home and be your chef? Let's say if you own a construction company, you need help remodeling something? Get creative. Just because you cannot afford somebody, no, you ask them, hey, can I work together? Can I be a JV with you? Can I refer you clients? And when you refer me a certain number of people, can I get in for free? Right? Just find a way. When you find people that are doing great work, like Sebastian, like myself, that you feel, that you know that we can help you, find a way to be in the environment. Even if you cannot afford, ask questions. How can you get in? Right? And that's with anybody, any person that you love on social media. Trust me. I message people all the time. And especially after COVID, everybody was on their phone. If they didn't reply to, they're just being jerks. You know what I mean? And you just message these people, follow them, find ways to add value. Think about it. Even influencers, they talk about their problems sometimes on social. Listen, it's almost like they're doing their quarterly calls. Okay, this person's talking about he has a problem with this. Okay, I would love to add value to that influencer. Imagine, you don't need that many influencers. Let's say if you're a network marketer, you don't need that many influencers to make you $1 million a year passively, because you already have so many followers, right? And it's so, again, guys, it goes back to tactics. Just be more tactical, operate as your own Navy SEAL team, challenge your coaches, challenge your consultants. If you have a board of advisors, challenge them. Guys, how can we raise the bar? How can we educate to dominate? How can we do what others don't do, can do, and will not think of doing? So that's what I would really, really focus on, Sebastian, and the things that I wish I would really stress about at the beginning, so I wouldn't have to stress so much over the process to becoming and to helping so many people get there. You know what I mean? That's the good way to wrap it up. some of those things that I would focus on.
Perfect. And two things come to mind. Number one, everybody listening, mission-driven mastermind leader, currently or aspiring. So as you were talking, it was just like, oh, other mission-driven organizations, fellow charity, fellow other organizations, what a great fit, aligned missions to speak and support each other. So that just feels like a slam dunk that came to mind as you were speaking. And the last part is the free gift. So if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, wow, I love the energy. I love the title of your book, which is Work Like an Immigrant. You know, it's like hustle. You gotta, you know, everybody's mission driven and nothing's guaranteed here is what I believe. So is boom, let's be focused. Let's get the team together. Let's get real results. So if they're listening to that, where can they go deeper with you? I know you've got a free gift for them.
Yes, I mean, no, great question, guys. So I know that you talk about the book. This book is something that, you know, if I don't wake up tomorrow, if I die, I wanted to make a book that's like a Bible for business owners and entrepreneurs. You know, if you're going through something tough, where you can, you know, open any page in this book and it's alive. You guys, as you guys can tell, I'm a storyteller, and the energy that I bring here, I bring it in the book. It's something that my kids and my grandkids, they thinking about quitting or giving up on their business, whatever. Just open the freaking book and read it. That's going to be massive golden value here that people that do masterminds that charge 50, 100 grand per year. That's that much magic in this book. And 100% of the proceeds of this book goes to helping kids that are facing hunger. So you can find it on Amazon. If you guys want to listen, I'm on Google Audible. You can get on Google Audible and to listen there. And I have a powerful gift for you guys. If you guys go to Get On More Stages, in the plural.com. So getonmorestages.com. You scroll down and you're going to see a free gift, 7-figure success, word patterns that convert, that connect. It's a powerful gift. It's a part 1 out of 7 series that people that pay me a lot of money, you know, I'm giving that to you guys for free. And that's going to really kind of wrap it up. It's going to be a great exercise. 1, listen to this replay, then go and play with that gift. Play with the word patterns. Look at your sites, look at your brand, look at the things that you have, content that you're putting out there, and just start making a few adjustments and watch the magic happens. You're going to start attracting more clients. You're going to grow. You're going to engage more. It's going to be great things happening, right? It's like I always teach, right? Add so much value to the people. Make somebody money. You will never have to ask for anything. They're going to come back. Law of reciprocity, just, it's incredible what it works. So you go to getonmorestages.com. You scroll down. It's going to be a gift in there. You're going to see 2 green buttons. One to get on a call with me. Don't click on that one because I have a waiting list. Click on the other one. Get on the gift. And you go enjoy the gift. It's going to help you guys a lot. And it's a powerful gift. And then I'm always on social media. They know me as Carlos Inspire on Instagram, on TikTok. I do a lot of content on LinkedIn. By the way, you see Gary Vee and myself talking all the time about go to LinkedIn. It's virgin. Trust me. Your avatars are there. There are people there, man. These people, they got money. They work for corporations. A lot of people there. And if you guys sell high-ticket programs, coaches, masterminds, LinkedIn, don't underestimate that social media. Big, big hint for you guys here, you know, to get on LinkedIn and apply some of the tactics that I talk about. As you guys can see, it works. You see that if you go to LinkedIn, if you follow me there, Carlos Siqueria, if you look at my endorsements, you look at my reviews and look at testimonials and look at the content that I put out, look at the people that engage, you see it. It's like walking the talk. So focus on LinkedIn. You guys will thank me one day.
Fantastic. So all of those links are going to be below this video. So getonmorestages.com, and then Carlos's LinkedIn as well, which is popping and moving. And so that is going to bring us home to getting paid to speak on big stages as a mastermind leader with Carlos. And is there a final note that you'd like to share, a final phrase or final insight to close us out for today?
Man, I appreciate being here first. And thank you everybody here for your time. Is one thing that we cannot get back. And I'll leave you guys with 2 favorite quotes that I always end my show. I have a powerful podcast show that I interview people every other month. powerful leaders of the world that done great things. People like Frank Shankwitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation, who passed away 2 years ago. Great people. And many other leaders, athletes, celebrities. And I always leave the show with this message. Life is all about the mission, never the commission. And whenever you guys feel like giving up, quitting, pulling the trigger, jumping that bridge, maybe you feel as crazy as I was, stabbing yourself. And before you give it up, walk away on your spouse or in your company, lay off hundreds or thousands of people in your company. Just breathe, just pause. Remind yourself that the days that breaks us are truly the days that makes us. God bless you all.